I titled this video the multi-billion-dollar airdrop you don't want to miss, because this is possibly the most valuable airdrop in all of crypto history. I mean, for those who thought the Hyperliquid airdrop earlier last year, early into this year, was massive, the average individual, average trader earned around $28,000 or so for their airdrop. Now, if they held that to the more recent price of the Hyperliquid token, that would be worth about a quarter of $250,000. It is just absolutely insane to think about that. That was the average airdrop. So when you consider the opportunity of a multi-billion-dollar airdrop, that is already guaranteed, that the opportunity to participate started just 2 weeks ago. This is what they call striking while the iron is hot. We're going to deep dive into the AsterDex, the Aster token today, talk about how you can maximize your opportunity to earn the airdrop and get to know the entire AsterDex ecosystem and the Aster token itself. If you're new here, my name is Alex, top of crypto news, crypto passive income. If you enjoyed content like that, consider following. You enjoyed this video, smash up the like. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. So what's caused this meteoric rise in the Aster token? Well, it first started with a post by the likes of CZ. Most people are typically familiar with CZ, one of the probably richest people in crypto, one of the founders of Binance, and is a huge investor outside of maybe not running Binance directly anymore, but through his investment companies in one company called YZI, which previously was known as Binance Labs, posted about the Aster project. Now, mind you, Aster already had its kind of testnet phase, and there was an airdrop that already occurred that occurred before this post by CZ. So when CZ posted this, the token, as you can see, was trading at 17 cents. And as of last night, it hit an all-time high of about $2. Just absolute insanity. Traders who got into this early, like myself, there were people that had more to invest than myself and walked away with $5 to $10 million in profit. Some people capturing 6 figures worth in profit, and then others maybe a little bit more on a moderate scale of a decent return. So either way, this caused a massive storm across all of X. And caused a meteoric rise in a lot of other cryptocurrencies as well, especially ones involved in perpetual DEXs and perpetual trading and decentralized exchanges in general. We're going to kind of look into what that means and how you can take full advantage of this. So this caused a massive attention to the likes of the Aster project when Aster had already kind of been building for a little while. Now, what makes Aster specifically different compared to Hyperliquid or the likes of Lighter or maybe some of the other perp dexes that have been around for a little bit longer, DYDX or the likes of GMX? Well, there are some features behind the likes of Aster that do make it a little bit more unique. Obviously, the backing directly and investment by YZI, previously known as Binance Labs, is a huge portion of it. We also know that CZ himself has kind of has a very opinionated perspective on being number one. And obviously, the competition that Hyperliquid has created for the likes of centralized exchanges has really caused like a thorn in the side, if you will, to the likes of CZ, which many would say is probably one of the reasons why this backing is so heavy for a project like Aster. Now, Aster was launched off of the Binance Smart Chain, but it is not only native to likes of Binance. So it is cross-chain for those that maybe want to utilize other chains, maybe the likes of Solana, when it comes to interacting with Aster. There are a few things that do make it unique that Hyperliquid doesn't have. The first being it's kind of degen mode. We're going to look at that in just a second, where you can trade with over 1,000x leverage, which I'll just say I tried it just to say I tried it. It's very scary. So I don't recommend it to anyone. But it also has the opportunity for you to be able to trade stocks. Now, it is a little bit limited as a lot of DEXs and perpetual trading platforms do have limited amounts of stocks, but it is available, something that you don't see with the likes of Hyperliquid. And the biggest aspect of it all is there's a huge opportunity when it comes to the airdrop itself. And we're going to look at that in just a second as we dive into it. I'll leave the links down below so you can check this out as far as the official links for the likes of Aster. And the big thing that you have to understand is Aster, the token itself, from a spot option, to buy spot Aster is currently only available on the AsterDex. So you can trade perpetuals futures contracts on other dexes, the likes of Hyperliquid, Lighter, and others out there. But when it comes to actually buying and holding the Aster token, it is currently only available on Aster, which is somewhat bullish and bearish. Bullish to the fact that there's a lot, once exchanges do get the opportunity to list Aster, that especially when it's get listed on the likes of Binance, if that happens, that would be very bullish because it provides a much larger approach. At the same time, it is somewhat bearish because it limits the amount of people and where people can go to actually buy the Aster token, which kind of has that bullish and bearish sentiment at the same time because that only draws more people to the platform itself. So maybe there's a purpose to that. But here's the biggest kicker of it all, right? So a lot of people felt sidelined over the last week for those who did not get in early enough on Aster. I talked about this in yesterday's video on X, that I myself got in around the 35-cent range, a little bit late to the game, but in the end, still relatively early compared to most. And I enjoyed the full extent of my gains and have enjoyed my time with the platform, but have left a little bit on the platform to be able to participate in the upcoming airdrop, which we're going to look at in just a second. So this was a post earlier by the likes of Aster saying the Aster TGE is happening, missed out. So a lot of people like myself actually missed out on the pre-TGE, right? Very similar to what you had with Hyperliquid. Those who traded pre-TGE got a massive airdrop. Well, the likes of Aster, a lot of people missed out on it, but fortunately, only 8.8% of the tokens were airdropped to those who were there pre-TGE. What is happening now is Genesis Stage 2, and over 53% of Aster tokens are allocated for airdrop rewards. So there's plenty of time still to earn. So you can see 53.5% is set aside for the airdrop. 8.8% has been already allocated for those rewards. So there's about 45%, if my numbers are about right, left for massive airdrop opportunity, which if you take a look at the current price of Aster, if we were to do a very basic calculation on this, and to kind of get an understanding, if that is at a fully diluted valuation, 12.15 times 45%, that means overall there's about $5.5 billion worth of tokens at the current value that have yet to be distributed and airdropped to users. That is a lot of moolah. That's a lot of money, and I want to make sure that you're fully capable of taking advantage of it. So according to Aster, here are some of the things that you need to understand if you want to be able to earn as many RH points, is what they call it, towards your airdrop. So the revamped Stage 2 scoring mechanism for RH points and earning. So it's no longer just about the trading volume you have made, it's about how smart you are trading on Aster. A lot of platforms are kind of moving away from what's called wash trading, where you buy and sell just to create a lot of volume, but you don't really make anything, you don't really generate any profit or lose money because you're not really trading off technicals. You're just trading just to store up volume, but it does really nothing for the platform and really nothing for you. And so that is what they're kind of moving away from. And there's 5 specific scoring factors you need to be aware of that take a huge precedence in how many points you earn. So the trading volume score, that has a portion. Holding time has a portion. The Aster asset holding score, so utilizing Aster assets such as ASBNB or USDF as margin to trade on Aster Pro. So we're going to show this, how you can do this as well, how you can mint USDF and earn on the stablecoin while also trading and earning towards the airdrop. It's a win-win-win situation. Then realized profit and loss score, so you do get points for realizing profits, you get points for realizing losses. And then another major aspect of this is referral and team-based points. So if you are not on a team, it is highly incentivized to be on one. So with that said, there's a huge opportunity, and realize I have a position right now just in my spot with the likes of Aster, and I have a little bit that I just want to accumulate over time, but I'm also very heavily invested into the perpetuals trading of Aster, and I'm going to show you how, just with a simple $100, what that could look like from a perpetual, trading perpetuals with $100, and then also depositing about $100 and staking that as USDF, the stable coin, in order to be able to use that as collateral to trade perpetuals and double dip essentially on the points. So right now, a couple of things about the platform itself. You have perpetuals trading that is available. This is kind of like your normal perpetuals trading. For me, I've been trading AVNT, a competitor to the likes of Aster on Base. Base recently announced that they're going to be possibly coming out with a token. They're exploring it. So a ton of excitement over there. So I got myself a decent entry right here when I saw the dip right around $2. Knew there's going to be some level of support. We retested that and then went up higher and took a little bit of profits around the $2.33 range. So overall, trades like these type of smart trades where it's not just buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, just to create volume, but actual realized profits where it's 55% gains, whatever it was, that has a lot of value towards the points that you earn. Now, this is only through perpetuals are you able to earn towards the airdrop. So that is the big takeaway. You can trade spot, you can trade 1000x leverage, but those aren't going to earn you towards the airdrop. So do be mindful of that when it comes to trading. So here, if you go to the markets, you can see all markets, stocks, and then pre-launch. There's nothing going to be really in pre-launch. You're going to have XPL and Linea. And then on stocks, like I said, it is somewhat limited, but there are some pretty more of the popular ones, and you're able to do it with 50x leverage, which I think is kind of insane. Because imagine being able to do the same thing with Robinhood, right? Imagine being able to trade 50x leverage on Apple stock or Tesla or Nvidia. That would give you that much more exposure to the stock itself and the profits and obviously potentially losses. So super interesting to see that happen. And then a lot of options out here when it comes to all markets, primarily including the likes of cryptos. So that said, let's jump over and explore the platform a little bit. So you're going to have your 1001x leverage. This is really scary, and it really shows in this type of a chart. So there's not a lot of things about the 1001x leverage that I really like because it is very scary. And the degen mode is primarily available to the likes of BTC and ETH. You can trade some of these as well with some crazier leverage. Here you can only go up to 75x. So you can really only trade BTC and the likes of ETH with that kind of leverage. So this degen mode really is only for degens. It is quite honestly something I would never want to participate in, but it is out there. Now, spot, fairly simple to be able to identify. You can trade a lot of the different spots that they have available. They don't have a lot available on spot, but comparatively speaking, right? I mean, you're gonna have some that are gonna be here. You're gonna have some that aren't. You know, if you're looking up AVAX for spot, it's not on here. This is primarily a perpetuals DEX, and that is the clear focus behind it. You're going to have your portfolio, which is fairly standard referrals. So by the way, if you do need a referral code or referral link, I've set this up where both you and myself split the 10% rebate because I think it is fair enough to share. And then the rewards aspect, which we're going to look at in just a second. So the stage 2 Genesis is very important. This is everything that you need to know as far as the earning points itself. It's also going to show you where you rank. So my current ranking is just under 12,000 out of, I don't know, maybe 50,000, 100,000 people that are currently participating in this. So for me, I value very highly not only having people join the team, my team specifically with my referrals. I joined another team through another referral. So it is kind of like a overall referral program. But by joining a team, you get a big boost. So do be mindful of that. As more and more people trade, your boost increases and the amount of points that you earn increase as well. So you can see my total RH that I've earned thus far as points. So something that, you know, I think when it comes to opportunities here, I'm just going to move this over and rename this to tactical investing. There you go. Looks a lot better. Or maybe I can't do that. I'm going to just change it to maybe no spaces. There you go. Perfect. So if you want to join my team, I'll leave a link to it down below. But this is the biggest aspect. And I want to show you very briefly how you can also deposit USDT. This is on Binance Chain in order to earn interest. So up to 16.7% APY while you trade using that as leverage. So for example, I have, by the way, in my perpetuals, I'm just going to move over here to my perpetuals portfolio because I'm really going to trade with just $100 in my perpetuals. You can see $102 here in my perpetuals, and then also depositing right about $100 in USDT to the platform because there's some people out there with $5,000, $50,000, $500,000, $5 million to be able to earn towards the airdrop. That is fine and dandy, but the average individual probably watching this video doesn't have $500,000 to deposit to a DEX platform to trade towards earning an airdrop. Maybe you do, that's awesome. But for the average person, I just want to show you how much is possible to be done as far as earning points towards your airdrop. So we're going to go ahead and I have this in my MetaMask wallet. So you can see here, my USDT here. I'm going to go ahead and mint and deposit. Confirm. Now that I've minted the USDF, it's going to take a little bit of time for it to actually show up into my account directly. But like I said, the opportunity exists and the actual APY has actually slightly increased over time. As you can see, at one point it was about 10.6 total. Now it's sitting at about 16% total APY. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to show up in my wallet. And then now at that point, once it does, I can simply go back over to my perpetuals. This is now going to show a balance of closer to around $200. And then at that point, I can use that $200 to be able to trade on perpetuals at the same time earning yield on that stablecoin at the same time earning towards my airdrop. So overall, I think it is a super, super exciting system. I think that is probably the best way to be able to earn. And so when you take a look at some of these, like when we take a look at AVNT, the one I've been recently trading a little bit more often, you know, in this type of scenario, the most amount of points are going to be gained by people joining your team, by you depositing and converting your USDT into USDF or into ASBNB, which is like the Aster stake version of BNB, then using that as collateral to trade on perpetuals. So essentially you're earning from being referred and trading with that referral. You're earning by staking, you're earning yield on that stake. Then on top of that, you're earning by trading using that staked stablecoin or BNB. Either way, it is a huge, huge opportunity to take advantage of all aspects of it to be able to earn a portion of this multi-billion-dollar airdrop. Let me know your thoughts, comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, smash like. You enjoy content like this, consider subscribing. And until next time, guys, stay invested.